he's actually, it's with his mother, and he's turned into a good-looking kid, and very possessive of his mother. I mean, I've been around where guys will look at her, double take, and he's ready to tear someone up. I'm like, dude, chill out, all right? It's gonna happen, all right? Guys will look. But he has really turned some things on. The thing about Eric is, I was there when there were some things that didn't go well. And so we could talk about those. And he internalized it. Here's just a few things that transpired. Because at the end of the day, the time you spend, you can't get back, and it has a benefit. Here's some things Eric achieved. 4-year led him at Maple Mountain High School. He started pitching for them when he was in 9th grade. All-time Maple Mountain strikeout leader, 2-time All-Region A, 2-time All-State, 2-time All-Utah County team, which is tougher than All-State because it takes in, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, everybody, okay? And so all high schools, he made that team. 4A Pitcher of the Year in 2012-2013, All-State Tournament team in 2012-2013, Utah State Strikeout Leader in 2012, and Utah State Strikeout Leader in 2013. Second all-time, by the way, all right? Region 8 MVP 2012, 2013, 2013 Utah State 4A All-Star Game MVP. Maple Mountain 2012 Region 8 Champs. Maple Mountain 2013 State Runner-Up Team. 2-time member of the National Association of High School Baseball Coaches National Team Region 8. They pick 8 regions from around the country. Okay, which really, he was one of the top 100 players of all high schools in the country his senior year. Actually, senior and junior, because he made it as a junior. Okay, where are we at here? Finished at the top, Utah strikeouts, like I said, and shutouts with an ERA of about 1. Arguably the best all-around high school career in history. Member of the Mountain West Baseball Academy team in 2012 and 2013, selected to go to Cary, North Carolina for the USA National Team trials. Member of the 2013 USA Baseball Stars team, where he was the starting pitcher in their opening game. Selected to the 2013 Utah Marshals team. This is a team that is made up of college-bound players and some first-year college guys. They play each other. To give you an example, a couple years earlier, Bryce Harper, the National League MVP, was on this team. Chris Bryant with the Cubs was on this team 2 years before Eric. The point is, the best guys are on this team. He was on that team. Okay, so this is like a big deal. Scholarship to just up the hill here at BYU. Actually, Stanford was recruiting him, but he didn't have the grades, so get back here. I kind of screwed up there. I should have taught him how to go to school. He didn't want to go to school that much. But the point is this, also was being recruited by the Nationals and the Tampa Bay Rays to play professional baseball. So my point is this. Did I have a hand in that? I don't know. I was there, though, when victories and defeats came. And let's just show a few clips here, Leaf. These are the things I saw every game I went to. Just commonplace.
First pitch swinging, drives it into the gap in left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit, rolling all the way to the wall. The throw is going to come in. No play at the plate. 2 runs come around to score as Aaron Mack contributing to his own cause, a 2 RBI double. Popped up.
And his Mack makes an incredible grab, slipping on the dirt, getting the grab.
I think the ball is actually still in play, and he's out right there. And make sure he squeezes it right here. And he does, 4 strike 3.
With that, Maple Mountain makes history as for the first time in their school history, they will head to the championship.
So Eric is one of the greatest players this state's ever seen in high school. And he's done some things that are crazy. This was his finest hour in my book. State championship game. With him on the mound, they were the best team in the state because no one ever beat him. For 2 years, no one beat him, right? But you can't pitch every game, right? State championship game, they're down 11-1. His arm's hanging because he's pitched a bunch to get him there. But they're down 11-1. Anyone that knows how baseball works is if you're a 7-inning game, in the 5th inning, if you're down by 10 runs, they call the game. This is the state championship. So down 11-1, they bring him in, even though he can't even lift his arm. And you look there, it's just like, can he do this? Well, he does. He shuts him down. And then the next inning, hits a shot to the warning track with a guy on third to score it. So it sends the game a full 7. They end up losing 14-10. It was the most exciting game you've ever seen. But one person made the difference because of his heart. Okay? These are things as a parent you look at and you go, wow. It's rubbed off on his brother. You know, he's now the top pitcher at Maple Mountain High School. This is his senior year. His nickname's the Deliverer. He's right-handed, Eric was left-handed. And so you find this situation and you look at it and you say, okay, we were there for all of it. All of it. New Skin's been great, but the big benefit was being able to be there for our sons on the things they needed. Now, as life goes on, we don't control everything either. And 2 years this March, Eric was killed in a head-on collision. And I'll tell you, you don't come back from this, but you survive it. And this hasn't just affected us, it's affected the whole world. When Eric died, 150 children were fed, nourished the children, vitamins from all of you in his name. There's things going on right now. There's people going to school right now, and scholarships in his name. That wouldn't go to school without him. And so, you don't survive this, but you try to do your best to move forward. And so I know you think you got the whole world ahead of you. I know you think you got all the time in the world. You don't. You and I don't control that. You don't control what tragedy comes your way. This is actually Eric. I mean, he's all everything, but this is who he is. Can we just run that lead? It's one of his cousins. Little boy.
Holy crap.
You go to family events, and Eric would go with the little kids. You talk to him after, he says, Dad, they're the ones that need attention. Not the other kids his age. He got it at an early age, all right? And so, you look at this, last year, a little under a year ago, the press shows up at my house. Salt Lake Tribune's the biggest paper in the state. And they want to talk to my son about survivorship. How do you survive this? And it wasn't a doom and gloom story, it was a story about victory, about overcoming obstacles. And there's an interview, it's online and everything with this, where Jeff talks about things. And it was an incredible thing to see happen and see him grow into who he's becoming because of the opposition that's been pressing on him. So it's not about the victories. It's about the defeats. That's where the real message lies, right? Let's just play this real quick, Leave. My son was a little bit crazy. I am too, maybe you are.
Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
I've always taught my children that you have the power within you to change the world. I've told them that since they were little. And so I didn't freak out too much when they didn't find their way, maybe in being a straight A student or whatever. I always tried to listen to where their heart was or whatever. The point I'm making is I don't know about you, but I never fit in with the mainstream. I never fit in with the 9-to-5 guys that spent 40 years of their life going back and forth, being told what to do, when to go to the bathroom, how much they're gonna make, where they could go to school, how long they could take a vacation, any of that stuff. And my kids aren't that way either. My son certainly wasn't that way. Okay, he saw some things that he followed with passion. And the thing I want you guys to understand, yeah, he had the capacity to go play professional baseball, but he knew that the days were numbered when that would end up for everybody, because it does. But he wanted to end up here. In fact, he was a gold executive when he died. And I remember he would sit in here afterwards and he would tell me after, thank you for telling me to come, because I love being here. Because there's hope. I feel there's hope for people. Shumi was his best speaker right there. Shumi, raise your hand. You hear from her later. I get texts, during the thing where he's like, Shumi's tearing it up, man. I mean, she just like, you love to hear her energy. And so the point I'm making is simply this. If you've never fit in before, if you were kind of the odd man out, the square peg in the round hole, that's a good thing. That's a blessing. The question is, are you a big enough person to stand up to what you need to do to fulfill your calling? Because if your calling isn't a 9-to-5 sheep with everyone else, then you need to do whatever's necessary to make sure you see this thing through. I mean, people say to me all the time, why do you persevere now? It's not about money. It's not about any of that. My son and I had a commitment that when he was done one day, we were going to go around the world and build him a team. Just the fact that he's not here now in the flesh does not mean that that goal does not end. We're still together. And people feel his spirit all the time. I feel it every day. Find something that will keep you at the wheel no matter what. Because it's not about just getting yours and getting out. It's about doing what you need to do, establish your position, and be a beacon for others to follow. Because we have a mechanism here that not only gives us the ability to make as much money as we want to make, but we have the capacity to give people hope and change the world. We really do. That's what I see out there. I mean, this is my son's favorite poem. And he was working with a drill sergeant really that was trying to get the most out of Eric as he was preparing for, the challenge coming in baseball that was coming. And he would make him chant this while he was running ladders on the football field. And Invictus, I don't know if you've ever read this, it says, out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied, but I'm bowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds they shall find me unafraid. Matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. That was my son. That's me. This is you. If that's you, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be a leader in this business and show people another way. You're supposed to open the door for those that want their dreams met, right? To pave a way for others so they can realize that it isn't all what the status quo says it's supposed to be, because it's not, all right? That's the spirit of my son right there. I didn't take any of these pictures. This is all stuff from the press. He was the most photographed high school athlete his senior year. One of his coaches said, "Man, why do people want to keep taking your picture?" But it's because of his passion, his energy. He's a warrior. That's who we are. So you look at this and you realize there's more here than just making a few extra bucks. Okay? There's more at stake here than just you. I didn't understand that at first. Yeah, I wanted to make this money, do that, because I could have this or that. You can get all that. But I'm telling you, if you focus and you decide you're going to do this no matter what, okay? No matter what, the money will come. the accolades will come,